Hey guys, it's Gingy Snaps. Don't mind the noise in the background. We're up here at college. The top 4 Grand Blue deck profile is currently uploading, but I figured that since right before I left, the remaining stuff that I needed came in the mail. For a deck that I've been finding entertaining just as a concept, and that's Sweep Command. You know, like Sweep Command during G was pretty silly, you know, being able to impede, basically kill like 2 to 3 cards on your opponent's turn, draw a card, possibly ride during your opponent's turn. I really found that entertaining, and I thought, hey, you know, what can I update this and bring it to standard, or whatever the fuck, premium. So yeah, this is a premium Sweep Command. So let's get jiggy with it, shall we? First up, the starter, Eradicator, First Thunder, Draco Kid. I run it. You can absolutely run Spark Kid Dragoon, or whatever the V starter is for Narukami nowadays. So basically, not only is it Forerunner, it's an Eradicator, which is pretty nice, as I apparently for Sweep Command. It doesn't matter though. So when your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone due to an effect, you can slap that bad boy into Soul. Check top 10 for a Sweep Command. If you find it, write it. If not, you shuffle. So that's useful on two things. One is if you don't have, you know, the 2 Soul to, you know, Soul Blast 2 for Sweep Command, which I don't know why you wouldn't, especially after using First Thunder Draco Kid. You always use it first. But you impede, you know, then you're like, oh hey, cool, before I use Sweep Command, let me see if I can just nullify your attack altogether, and then ride Sweep Command from deck, you know, and now I'm ready for more Limit Break. So yeah, it's really cheeky for defensive plays, and yeah, being able to go 13 on a grade 1, and then have your opponent like waste a 15k, say 1 to pass, or like a 20k for no pass. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Then the big star of the deck, for Sweep Command. Now, Sweep Command, yeah, it's Limit Break. That's the whole point of why this whole deck shouldn't be a deck. It's funny as fuck, but it's way past its prime. It's slow as shit. But when your opponent's rearguard, it's Limit Break 4. When your opponent's rearguard is put into the drop zone due to an effect, you can Counterblast 2 and Soul Blast 2, which in this deck, it is what it is. You can retire something else. Yeah, if you do draw a card, choose one of your opponent's rearguards in the front row, retire it, and then it gets 5k. That's pretty nice. I like it. You know, being able to trigger that and First Thunder Draco Kid on an impede is just really not only cheeky, but really funny. And then for the other grade 3, I run 4 Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion. I was originally running, you know, Great Composure Dragon, mainly just because it gets big, but then I was like, man, it's gonna suck, you know, if I need to ride Great Composure Dragon. And Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion is also the reason why we run Warning, because it's a Kaiser name, just in case we get stuck, you know, on Kaiser. So, you know, it's not all around bad. You can go Excel 2, start drawing a couple of cards, and just all around have a pretty decent time, even though we're running a Limit Break deck in frickin' 2019. Grade 2s, for Recklessness Dragon, because it's on place, bind something. This deck kinda works and doesn't work within itself. Anything on your turn is either straight bind, or it's most likely straight bind. So, you know, like, Eradicator, First Thunder Dragoon, Draco Kid, motherfucker, won't trigger off of himself, but at the same time, it's going to be fine, just because you're clearing out your opponent's board and getting advantage off of that. Get over here. After that, 3 Chatura, because I like the on-hit pressure of Chatura, of being able to go 11 with on-hit, counterblast 1, draw a card. Put it on an Excel 2 marker, it's a 16k, it's 16k? Yeah, it's a 16k. 2 Thunderstorm Dragoons, because if your opponent has little to no front row, if your opponent's front row has 1 or less, it gets 5k. So on an Excel 2 marker, if you manage to get it, it's 19. If your opponent doesn't have a front row and it's not an Excel 2 marker, it still hits force numbers. So pretty nice, pretty good, pretty chill. And then the last one, Voltage Horn. On hit, when it attacks while boosted, counterblast 1. Your opponent chooses one of their rear guards, retires it, then binds it. This triggers our starter so that, after a Vanguard swung and, Voltage Horn is like the last attack, we can just slap a First Thunder Draco Kid in Soul, hope we get the sweep command, and then be like, oh hey, cool, I have another Vanguard attack. It's pretty silly, not gonna lie. Grade 1s, for Demolition Dragon, because it's an optimal first stride with on-hit draw. If it's on rearguard, if your opponent doesn't have any units on the front row, which they will most likely not, it gets 3k, it's an 11k booster. Moral of the story. For Rising Phoenix, because it's a booster that can basically get recurred for free, put it behind a Voltage Horn, it becomes a 20k attacker that you just lost a unit to. Pretty fine. Limit Break Enablers, because we need them at this point in time. And then 3 Stride Fodder, because having Stride Fodder is fine. It's not a hindrance or anything. Triggers, it's 4 crit. It's 8 crit. All V, or except for that one. But, I mean, it is V. You know what I mean. Premium V trigger, normal V trigger, it's 8 crit. Draw 2/2 split of heals. This is surprisingly more relevant than any other deck that I use countercharge soul charge heal triggers, for the sole reason that we run a limit break and more so a limit break that says, hey, counterblast 2, soul blast 2. Like, outside of the crit triggers, you don't get soul or countercharge for free. Like, you gotta make the best of it. I would say run 4, but no. Let's have 12 V triggers, shall we? G-Zone. 2 V-Buster. I know what you're thinking. 2, outside of every other deck that you've ever debuted on this channel, this is absolutely trash. And I'm like, okay, cool, hear me out. V-Buster is supposed to be your first stride. Your second stride is not supposed to be V-Buster. Consequently. So, Soul Blast 1, Persona Flip. Your opponent chooses one of their rear guards, retires it, and then they choose something from their drop zone and bind it. Yeah. Oh no, they do that at the same time, but the moral of the story is the fact where it starts getting our bind zone underway. So for our next stride, Conquest full grade, it adds on. So for the discard of a card, you bind rear guards equal to the number of up to the number of face-up cards in your G zone. Oh, you retire them, then bind them. Ooh, that's interesting. I didn't actually know that I retired and binded. Retire them, bind them. All your units get 1k for each card in the bind zone. Then if your opponent's bind zone is 7 or more, Conquest gets a drive, and if it's 10 or more, it gets a crit. So combined with, impede, and whatnot, it should be fairly fine that you're gonna get quad drive at least. 2 Kaiser Warning, because I'm not gonna lie, I always wanted to build Narukami and use this card, so running Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion is just kind of like the on top of the cake. So, Kaiser Warning. GB2, Counterblast 1. Flip up a copy. If there's a Kaiser Heart, which, if you're striding into this, there will be, this unit gets, this unit battles all front row units in one attack, and then when this attack hits, choose up to 2 of your other units, they get 5k. So, you know, if you're, for whatever reason, if you're pushing for game, and you're on Kaiser, number 1, I'm sorry, and number 2, you know, they PG the Vanguard and basically let everything else die in the front row. This procs twice, so basically 4 of your units are getting 10k. Moral of the story. These are also pretty shiny flip fodder for Arma and Conquest over there, so pretty nice. Sabreeze, also flip fodder, but, you know, no, it's Sabreeze. Also flip fodder, Voltic Zapper, but this is also if you just, you know, like, got nothing better to do with your life. So, Thunderstrike 3, when it attacks a Vanguard at the end of the battle... Wait, hold on. Until end of battle, there we go. Voltic Zapper gets 10k and auto Counterblast 1 at the end of the battle, pay the cost. If you do, for every 2 cards in your opponent's bind zone, your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires it, then binds it face up. So, you know, if you really want to attempt to get that first Thunder Draco kid, if you really want to get that cheeky restand play off, and you know, you got your starter out, which if you're at Thunderstrike 3, something's wrong in that game state. But the moral of the story, it's either flip fodder or something if you've got nothing better to do. GB8, because it makes your boards big as shit. It turns your fucking triggers into, what number is it? At least 30k. You know, if the game went to GB8, it's at least 30k. Gilgal for free stride, Drachma because it's a fuck it button. 2 Impede Dragon because when placed, flip up a G Guardian. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards, retires it, then binds it. Then if your number of rear guards is less than your opponent's by 2, so if your opponent has at least 2 or more rear guards than you do, they choose another one of their rear guards and bind it. Proc Sweep Command, which is the important bit, procs the starter for extra defensive plays. And yeah, that's really what kind of ties this whole thing together, in all honesty. Oh, Bulwark, because it's 10k shield, or it's a 26k shield. What am I talking about? 25k shield that also binds shit for every 4 cards in the bind zone. And then Impede Dragon Flip Fodder includes, you know, whatever the fuck this dude's name is, and Callburn. So that's really it. So, you know, I hope you all enjoy. This is fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun. It's not practical, but you know, when shit is fun, you better bet your ass that I'm gonna find a way to make it work. I will force decks to work, even if it's not practical. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, do what you want. Let me know what you thought of the deck in the comments below. Try it out for yourself. And as always, I will probably see you guys in the next video. Bye.